Hello. I have a lot to say about this whole business of signs because I do that. I let sign if I get a sign, I let it lead me to a decision. I let signs validate a decision I did make, or I look for signs to validate a decision I did make. I believe in that. Messages from beyond, right? That you get a sign. Here's the thing. If you with your narcissist, and it, by the way, in the title on purpose, wasn't it a sign, that's because your it could be different than my it, could be different than the next person's it. We all have a list of things, right? Oh, but he and I had this in common. And with it, it could be nationality you have in common. It could be religion that you have in common. These are big things. It could be little idiosyncratic behavioral tics that you do the exact same way, right? It could be something that insignificant. You're like, oh, I'm telling you, we're meant to be together. Look at that. We've all said it over stupid things. Stupid things. Oh, he does this the same way I do that, or I went to say this and he said that, or I was going to do this but he had already done it. And there's endless signs you can think of your own. The details, as I've said many times, don't matter because they're yours. Here's the thing. I'm the first one to admit it. I may have misread and misinterpreted the signs that were sent to me. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. I really misinterpreted it. My narcissist, and it was said to me by anyone that met him, until we really got to know him, on the surface, and if you met him and saw him next to me, I guess you'd probably see it. We just kind of had a dance that was very easy. And a lot of people would say you two are meant exactly for each other. You're exactly the mirror image of each other, right? Because they're working to make them the mirror image in your eyes of what you love, of what you are, of what you're comfortable with, of what you desire. They're working to be that, right? So when people would see us together, that's what they would say. It's like you two are cut from the same cloth. You were made for each other. Okay, fine. When I say I might have misinterpreted, here's how I think it went down. And I was outside the other night looking up, saying a prayer and whatever, and it made me think of this. About a month before I met the narcissist, I looked up and I said, okay, God, I'm ready. I'm ready for my him. I'm finally ready to meet my him. I'm ready. Okay? I don't date like a lot at all. I wasn't dating it. He was the first person I met. Boom, it's a sign. That's how I took that. Oh, he sent me my him. He seems perfect for me. Look how well we're aligned. We seem to be, we're always laughing. It seems congenial. It seems perfectly matched. So I took that to mean that God, the universe, whatever your belief system is, sent me what I told the universe I was ready to receive. I'm ready to receive my him. I'm ready. The time before that narcissist, I had said the same thing. A year or two before. I'm ready. He sent me somebody. That blew up. That guy was kind of maybe a narcissist, a little bit, I think. Not as malignant as the one I just had, but I think he also had some issues. Married 3 times, no children, no friends to speak of at the age of 63, very scattered life, a lot of the signs, right? I think the reason those people were sent to me is it was God showing me, you're not ready. You think you're ready, but what would you do, Renee, if I sent you this guy? Here you go. And instead of dissecting what was happening, looking with open eyes. I couldn't because I didn't know of any of this disorder business, didn't know anything. I wasn't educated on this topic at all. So I ate it all up, believed every word. So what does that mean? That means I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I thought I was. I felt I was. I felt I was. Right? You're in your early 50s. You're ready. I'm ready. I've learned everything there is to know about myself. Not everything. We're always evolving. But I had done a lot of work on myself. I think I'm ready. Been divorced a long time. My baby's at college. I'm ready to receive someone. I was sent wrong people in order not to test me. I don't think God tests us like that. But kind of to say, are you sure you're ready, Renee? Here you go. What are you going to do with this one? Well, the exact things that I did with that one, which were staying, hoping, praying, wanting, loving, trying, exerting effort, all of that shows me I was not ready to receive someone. In fact, I was very much unready. He wanted me to see God, again, the universe, whichever is your belief system, he wanted me to see and learn more, to teach me I wasn't as ready as I thought. And all of the subsequent little, glorious little signs that I got during the relationship, during the love bombing, even peppered throughout, even started we having the bad times. You'd get little signs. How about my car isn't starting in your driveway? He came in and said once. His car just stopped. It ended up starting. He took that as a sign. We were like, oh, it's a sign. We were in a big fight. Oh, it's a sign I shouldn't leave. No, it's a sign you need to get your car serviced. Do you know what I'm saying? Or a certain song comes on in the middle of a fight. Or a certain anything. I can't even think because there's so many different things. But you know what you believe were signs in your relationship. I want you to look at those. They might not be signs you're meant to be together. They might be signs to try to make you think you're supposed to be together, and in the face of that information, what would you do when the rest of your brain knows logically what's happening that is defunctory in the relationship? So do you go with what you see, touch, and feel, and the dysfunction, and you're living it, or do you go with the sign? It sounds silly, but it's not, because a long time, I dealt in signs, and I kept convincing myself, because you're desperate. You're so desperate to find answers, to find a path. Somebody tell me what to do. We can't go to friends because we're embarrassed. We don't want to talk about it out loud because then that makes it real. We wouldn't even know how to explain it because nobody would even understand. So you look for signs. You look for things in life. You look for things in common. You look for whatever to get you through it. I misinterpreted and misread my signs. This man was sent to me for a reason. He was sent to me to show me I wasn't ready for a relationship. Not if I still can be duped by somebody like that. I don't think I'm ready for a relationship if I can still be duped by somebody like that. And I think that's what God was trying to teach me, because that wasn't the first one I had chosen. And I wasn't learning the lesson, and he knew I didn't know the lesson. The universe knew I didn't know the lesson. And it was God saying, you know what? You're going to learn this lesson, young lady, before you pair up with somebody. Then you'll be ready. Right? I feel now that I would have a good sense of if I had a narcissist that was in front of me now. And I'm not saying I'm a doctor and I could diagnose anybody and I could... No. But I'm saying I have a feeling I would recognize love bombing. I have a feeling I would recognize somebody trying to suck the joy out of my day by taking all of my time and making it theirs. I will no longer look at that as a romantic gesture. Oh, he wants to be with me so much. He just doesn't want to leave me alone. He just wants to be with me. No. No. I don't look at that anymore as a sign that I'm supposed to be with him. I don't look at old-fashioned manners, which I love. If somebody has those, I don't look at that as, ooh, it's a sign I'm supposed to be with him. No. He just has old-fashioned manners. And what he does for me might be a move he does. He does that for everybody. It has nothing to do with me. These are things I've learned now. It's not a sign I need to be with him because he brings me coffee in bed and I love my coffee. That's not a sign. He was getting his. I take mine black. How much effort is it? Here you go. Doesn't take any effort to get me a cup of coffee. I even like it room temperature. Not room temperature, but not so hot. So even if the pot has turned off, you can still get me a cup up to an hour later and I'm fine. Very easy. I digressed a little on the coffee example. But you get what I'm saying? When you start to look at your signs, re-examine them in a way that maybe they're trying to tell you something the opposite of what you're thinking. What do you mean, Renee? We're either perfect together or we're not. If we're perfect together, then how can the sign mean anything other than something to mean that we're connected? Because it might be testing you. That in the face of such a poignant connection, maybe the sign is a big, big thing, and it really made us think that, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing to have. Nobody does that. That's an odd little thing to have in common. Doesn't that mean we're meant to be together? Maybe it means that even in the face of that wonderful sign of things that you have in common, maybe even in the face of that, you're still not meant to be together. Even with that, he's still a narcissist. And now I look and I know that all these little things, many of them are orchestrated by them, manipulated by them, to reflect off of you what they know you want them to be. Reflect off of you what they know you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want bestowed upon you, what you want to have in common with someone to make you feel like they're your soulmate. Which that word's overused, but you know what I mean by soulmate, right? Look at the signs. The signs might not be directing you towards what you think they're directing you. They might not. And that might be heartbreaking because that might be all of what you're hinging upon, your relationship upon. Like, oh, but that really showed me that we're supposed to be together. Did it? Because I stood outside and prayed and I got this. Now, I know the big guy. Right? They say all your prayers are always answered, even if they're not answered in the way that you think they should be answered. Right? I could have skipped that narcissist, that whole experience. But something out there wanted me to have that experience and learn all that I did. The signs are not to be taken to make your decisions. I did it. So I know it's a thing. Look at the reality of the situation. Get your brain aligned with reality and logic and let it dictate to you the truth of the situation. If there are a couple of things that seem uncanny and like lightning bolts, you should be together and da-ba-ba, ask yourself, is he reflecting some kind of behavior back to me that he knows I want? Is he saying things and acting this way and doing these things to reflect what he thinks I want? Is he, you know what I'm saying? It's a big thing. It kept me there. It kept me there. Because I was like, but we really are cut from the same cloth. That's got to mean something. That's got to be a sign. No, it's not. It's just manipulation on their part. And you might be misreading and misinterpreting. If something blatantly seems wonderful, maybe that's because you're supposed to see that and say, oh, I would love to find that in another person. For real. That's not fake or orchestrated or acted out on their part. Right? That sign might be telling you what you really do want in a non-disordered person down the road. Not trying to teach you should stay with that person because this, and this. Just keep a look on it. Anything that we can learn to make us feel a little breakaway, if that's what you need, then look at it. And I'm telling you, signs was a big thing for me. But I'm willing to admit it, I misread mine. Just take inventory, take stock, and look at everything. That's all.